What if I told you there was a secret society, hidden for centuries, that laid the groundwork for modern science, astronomy, and even our understanding of the universe? A brotherhood that included some of history's greatest minds, all working in the shadows. This is the story of the Rosicrucians, the secret brotherhood behind modern science. Welcome to the Bizarre Bureau. The story begins in the early 17th century with a series of mysterious pamphlets that suddenly appeared across Europe. The first, the Fama Fraternitatis Rosicrucis, published in 1614, was an absolute bombshell. It told the tale of a mysterious German noble, Christian Rosicrucian, or Christian Rosecross. According to the text, Rosicrucian was a scholar and mystic who, in the 15th century, had journeyed to the Middle East. There, he was supposedly initiated into a world of ancient, secret wisdom, learning from Arab sages, alchemists, and mystics. He studied mathematics, physics, magic, and the legendary art of alchemy, not just turning lead into gold, but the spiritual transformation of the soul. When Rosicrucian returned to Germany, he was filled with a revolutionary vision. He wanted to reform not just science and religion, but all of humanity. To do this, he gathered a small group of disciples, forming the Fraternity of the Rosy Cross. They swore an oath to keep their existence a secret for 100 years, to heal the sick for free, and to silently guide humanity toward a new age of enlightenment. For a century, they allegedly worked in secret, sharing their knowledge and preparing the world for a grand revelation. Then, as the story goes, Rosicrucian's perfectly preserved body was discovered in a hidden, seven-sided vault surrounded by books of secret knowledge and a perpetual lamp. The time had come for the Brotherhood to reveal itself to the world, and reveal itself it did. The pamphlets caused an unprecedented uproar. Imagine, in an age of religious turmoil and scientific infancy, a secret society claiming to possess the ultimate knowledge of God and nature. Intellectuals, philosophers, and wannabe mystics across Europe were desperate to join. They wrote public letters, pleading to be contacted by the Rosicrucians. But the Brotherhood remained silent. No one knew who they were, where they were, or if they were even real. This very mystery was their greatest power. Was it a real secret society, or was it one of the most brilliant and elaborate hoaxes in history? The debate rages to this day. Many scholars believe the pamphlets were the work of a group of German Lutheran intellectuals, particularly a circle led by a theologian named Johann Valentin Andrea. Their goal might not have been to create an actual secret society, but to use the idea of one to inspire a revolution in thought. They were living in a world still dominated by dogmatic tradition. By creating the legend of Christian Rosicrucian, they were essentially creating a symbol and mascot for a new way of thinking that combined Christian faith with scientific inquiry, mysticism with rationalism. They were advocating for an invisible college, a network of thinkers who could freely exchange ideas outside the rigid confines of the church and universities. And whether the fraternity was real or not, their plan worked spectacularly. The idea of Rosicrucianism spread like wildfire and inspired the creation of actual secret societies, study groups, and philosophical movements. It lit the fuse for the scientific revolution. This is where things get truly fascinating. The Rosicrucian manifestos champion the empirical study of nature. They urge people to learn from the book of nature, just as they learn from the Bible. This philosophy deeply influenced some of the most important figures of the 17th century. Take Francis Bacon, the father of the scientific method. His book, New Atlantis, describes a utopian society led by a scientific institution called Solomon's House. The parallels to the Rosicrucian legend are undeniable. A secretive, enlightened group dedicated to collecting knowledge for the betterment of humanity. Bacon's work laid the philosophical foundation for the Royal Society of London, one of the world's oldest and most prestigious scientific institutions. And guess who was a founding member of the Royal Society? Robert Boyle, the father of modern chemistry. Boyle was deeply interested in alchemy, not just for its chemical experiments, but for its spiritual dimensions, a core tenet of Rosicrucian thought. Another key figure was Elias Ashmole, an antiquarian, politician, and also a founding member of the Royal Society. Ashmo was a known alchemist and a fervent student of Rosicrucian texts. He was one of the very first men in England to be initiated into another, now more famous, secret society, Freemasonry. Many historians believe that the philosophical and symbolic framework of early Freemasonry was heavily borrowed from Rosicrucianism. Then, there's the giant of science himself, Sir Isaac Newton. Newton is famous for his laws of motion and universal gravitation, but his private life was consumed by a hidden passion, alchemy and esoteric theology. His personal library contained a massive collection of alchemical texts, and his writings show a deep fascination with Rosicrucian concepts. He spent years trying to decipher ancient wisdom, believing that figures like Christian Rosicrucians have rediscovered a divine knowledge lost since antiquity. For Newton, science and mysticism were not separate. They were two sides of the same coin, two paths leading to an understanding of God's creation. The very idea of a universal invisible force like gravity acting at a distance has echoes of the magical, interconnected worldview promoted by the Rosicrucians. The influence didn't stop in Europe. The ideals of the Rosicrucians traveled to America with early colonists who dreamed of building a new field, society based on spiritual and intellectual freedom. Figures like Benjamin Franklin, a scientist, inventor, and Freemason, embodied the Rosicrucian spirit of practical knowledge and public service. So, were the Rosicrucians real? In a way, it doesn't matter. The idea of the Rosicrucians was real enough to change the world. They created a powerful mythos that inspired real people to form real groups and pursue real scientific knowledge. They championed a world where faith and reason could coexist, where the study of the natural world was a sacred duty. They created an invisible college that transcended borders and connected the greatest minds of the age, laying the intellectual groundwork for the Enlightenment and the modern scientific era. From Robert Boyle's chemistry lab to Isaac Newton's study, from the halls of the Royal Society to the founding principles of a new nation, the echoes of the Fama Fraternitatis can be heard. They are a phantom brotherhood whose legacy is written not in secret codes, but in the very fabric of our scientific understanding. The greatest secret of the Rosicrucians may be that they were hiding in plain sight all along, disguised as the very progress they helped to create. What do you think? Was it an elaborate intellectual prank or a genuine secret brotherhood that shaped history? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey into the bizarre corners of history, please give this video a like and subscribe to Bizarre Bureau for more. Thanks for watching.